Welcome! My name is Joanne. I am a financial advisor with 15 years of experience and much of that time working exclusively with widowed people. I will be your host for the next 20 minutes, and it is a privilege to be with you. You are experiencing the worst curveball life can throw at a human being. Losing a spouse is the most stressful of life's experiences. I am so sorry for your loss, pain, and the uncertainty you feel. I want you to get started on the right foot, to avoid the common mistakes and missteps that can snowball and cause further anguish. It is our hope at Wings for Widows that this presentation will help provide some understanding about the things you should be thinking about and those things you need to do. It's time to take charge of me to address these important issues. The information I will be providing has been tailored to the unique needs of widowed men and women. I may talk about things that you're aware of or that you've already done, and you should consider that an important accomplishment. For others, this will be new information. You can Google lists of things that you need to do. They are not wrong, but most are incomplete. Or they don't prioritize what you need to do first and what should follow. And they don't tell you what not to do. This presentation will tell you what to do and in what order. It's time to take charge. It's time to win back control of your financial life. Let's get started. You are going to have many financial, legal, and other administrative matters to take care of over the next few months or longer, depending on your situation. Everyone's situation is different. And while this may be true, there are universal truths. One of them is that you need financial clarity before much else. If you recall Maslow's hierarchy of needs, your basic needs must be met before your emotional ones. This means you need to understand your new financial situation. You need to know you and your family are going to be okay. I'm going to talk about things you must do every day, things you must get working on, and things you must not do. Let's start with the 5 most important daily do's, the things you should do every day. First, let friends help. This will keep you from becoming overwhelmed. Check in with family who can provide emotional support and share in responsibilities. Especially if you have children, even supermoms and dads need a break. Don't be shy about delegating. Tell your family members and friends what you need. Don't make them guess. Surround yourself with loving family members and friends, even co-workers. They're grieving too, so leaning on people you love and who love you helps everyone. Next, eat, sleep, and exercise. Maintaining your physical health is crucial during stressful times. Proper nutrition and rest are vital for keeping your energy levels up and staying mentally sharp for decision-making. Regular physical activity can reduce stress, improve mental health, and provide a sense of routine and normalcy during a period of significant change. It's a great idea to keep a journal. Don't expect your memory to work well. You've been traumatized and your brain is recoiling. You may have already heard the term widow brain or widow fog. It's going to take a while for the fog to clear, so don't beat yourself up. Keeping a journal will help you keep track of things, which will reduce your stress level. You will be meeting and talking with many people in the coming months. Keep detailed notes of your conversations, names, dates, emails, phone numbers. Highlight or circle action items so they're easy to find later for follow-up. Next, it's very important to open and sort mail daily. Regularly sorting through mail helps in promptly identifying and addressing important financial and legal documents, bills, or any urgent matters that may require immediate action. Sort your mail into high priority and low priority piles. Use stickies to make notes on the mail you need help with. If you need help understanding a letter or completing a form, don't let it sit. It may be very important. Contact the sender and find out what it's about and what you need to do. Bills that don't get paid automatically are high priority. If you pay your bills on time or contact the company in a timely manner if you can't, you'll avoid fees or worse, collection agencies. You do not need those headaches just because you let the mail pile up. Finally, lean into your spiritual self and take time for grieving. Allowing time for grief is important for emotional well-being. It's essential to process your emotions healthily, which can also affect your ability to manage other responsibilities effectively. Now let's look at what you must do over the coming weeks and months. This list applies to everyone. Get certified copies of the death certificate. Find important documents and passwords. Pull your credit report. Contact the Social Security Administration. Assess your financial situation. Understand your spouse's will. Understand your spouse's estate. Get your banking right. Contact your late spouse's employer and claim benefits. Let's start with #1. Get certified copies of the death certificate. The funeral home will provide as many certified copies as you need. These will have a raised seal. Start with 10, 15 copies. You will need these before you visit your local Social Security office and to apply for benefits, file tax returns, gain access to bank accounts, terminate credit card accounts, and much more. Some organizations might require an original certificate, not a copy. Make sure you make additional copies before using up that last original certificate. You can always go back to the funeral home if you need additional originals. 2. Find important documents. In addition to the death certificate, you will need critical documents to conduct business and answer questions, so get organized. Start a filing system if you don't have one. Being able to find what you need when you need it will reduce your stress level. So, as we like to say, don't agonize. Organize! Find birth certificates, marriage certificate, divorce decree, tax returns, military discharge papers known as a DD Form 214, life insurance and/or annuity policies, bank and investment statements, mortgage and loan information, deeds and titles, and legal documents like a will or a trust. This is a good time to make a complete list of your late spouse's credit cards, debit cards, checking and investment accounts. Each needs to be notified of your spouse's death. Some will require a copy of the death certificate. 3. Access and review your and your spouse's credit reports. We recommend using annualcreditreport.com. You can access all 3 credit agencies, Equifax, Esperion, and TransUnion, in one place at no cost to you. There are many reasons to do this in early widowhood, but it should also be done annually thereafter to safeguard your identity and your credit history. If possible, you want to pull yours and your late spouse's credit reports. Why? First, to confirm what accounts were opened under your names. There is no better inventory of what accounts you and your late spouse have opened. The question is, what do you do with these accounts and what are you looking for? 1. Are the accounts with a status of active and open supposed to be open or closed? If an account should be closed, contact the creditor and close it. They will likely need a death certificate to close your spouse's account. 2. If you find any new accounts open that you didn't open or don't recognize, call the creditor immediately. This may be fraudulent activity. You should understand that hackers target newly widowed people. Checking your credit reports can thwart their malicious efforts. 3. Are there accounts with discrepancies? Address any discrepancies in your record if you can substantiate the information. You can do this right online. 4. Contact your local Social Security office. Simply call 800-772-1213 to schedule a visit with your local office. Ask them what documents to bring, and then make sure you bring them. That's why I discussed getting organized earlier, so you could easily locate the documents they will tell you to bring to your appointment. You're going to discuss benefits for which you are eligible. This includes survivor benefits, lump sum death payment, retirement benefits, disability benefits, and more. They can tell you what your options are. They can't advise you about which option is best for you. I recommend meeting with a financial advisor beforehand so that you have a game plan for your unique situation. If your spouse was receiving retirement benefits at the time of death, benefit payments will stop. Overpayments must be repaid. This means they will deduct the overpayment from subsequent payments. 5. Assess your financial situation. If you don't already know the answer, you must determine if you have enough income or savings to help you transition this period of uncertainty. Do you have more money coming in than money going out in expenses each month? If so, this is called positive cash flow. Income and having enough money to pay the bills is the #1 concern for newly widowed people. This is why you need to dig in and figure it out. If you cannot meet your bills with your current income, you may have other options, including drawing from emergency savings, taking a distribution from your Roth IRA, since contributions are nearly always accessible, penalty and tax-free. If you're over age 59 and a half, you might draw from an IRA, or your late spouse's rollover if they had one. There are tax consequences for doing this, so make sure you understand. You may have to draw on the equity in your home, using a home equity line of credit known as a HELOC. You can borrow from your permanent life insurance policy if you have one, or you may have to convert assets into income. Lastly, you may be forced to ask family members for help. And if you can't do that, you're going to have to make some tough decisions. If you can no longer afford to live where you live, you may have to relocate. Better you know this sooner than later. This is a good time to cancel subscriptions and discontinue services you no longer need. The best advice here is not to assume everything is going to be okay. Don't ignore your situation in the hopes it will all magically work out. Find out exactly what your situation is and what you can do to address it. 6. Understand your spouse's will. Find their will, read it, and then abide by it. This is a legal document, so it is important to follow the terms of the will, which are your late spouse's wishes. Honoring those wishes is honoring them. This is when you would want to consult with an estate planning attorney to help you administrate the will and to determine if probate is required. Doing so will keep you out of legal trouble. Probate, simply put, is the legal and orderly distribution of assets after creditors have been satisfied. Your attorney can help you determine your late spouse's assets and whether or not probate and what kind of probate will be required. 7. Understand your late spouse's estate. This is where so many widowed people get into trouble, which is why I mention it again. You must not sell any property until you establish the rightful owners. If you are the owner, there is no issue. The issue is what you can do with property that is owned solely by the deceased. Most people don't understand this legal obstacle. An estate planning attorney can and should help you sort it out. Your late spouse's gross estate is simply all your spouse's assets minus liabilities. If there are no net assets to pay creditors, you'll need the attorney's help dealing with angry creditors. If there are net assets, they would be used to pay your spouse's bills and debts, if any. Additionally, some form of probate would likely be required. Again, consult an attorney. Realize what bills and debt you are responsible for paying and what your late spouse's estate is now responsible for paying. You pay your spouse's bills from estate monies and only estate monies. You pay your bills and joint bills with monies separate from estate monies, like out of your joint checking or savings accounts. You are not legally required to pay your late spouse's bills, so don't unless you use estate monies. Medical bills, unfortunately, are considered joint bills, even if the service was intended for your late spouse. 8. The next thing you need to do is visit your banker. Your situation has changed, and it is likely you'll need to make changes to your bank, savings, and investment accounts. Don't try to stall the bank. They often learn of a death once the Social Security Administration is notified. That is before you visit the bank. If you have a joint account, you can keep it open. Eventually, you will close it. Joint bills should continue to be paid from this account as discussed previously. I recommend you open your own individual account if you don't have one already established. This will help you build your credit. Joint monies will eventually transfer here when you close the joint account. After meeting with your estate planning attorney, this is when you would open an estate checking account if necessary. To open an estate checking account, you must obtain an EIN, an employer identification number. This is easily accomplished by visiting irs.gov. You need an EIN because a living person has a social security number. But when they pass, an EIN is required for legal and tax reporting purposes. If there are no assets whatsoever, an EIN may not be necessary. Again, check with your attorney. There's more. You may want to add a feature called POD, or pass on death. This simply adds a beneficiary or multiple beneficiaries to your individual account in the event of your death. Adding this feature means your monies will bypass probate and go directly to your beneficiaries. This may be preferable to adding an adult child or other family member as a joint owner on the account. If you have a joint credit card, don't close it immediately. First, open an individual credit card if you don't have one already, before closing the joint credit card account. If your spouse had a credit or debit card in their name only, don't use them. It's unlawful. The goal would be to use estate monies to pay off any balance and close their accounts. Again, don't do this without meeting with an attorney who can advise you properly about your situation. 9. If your late spouse was employed at the time of their death, contact their employer. You will want to ask about unpaid compensation, group term and other life insurance benefits, pension and retirement benefits like a 401k. Healthcare is a large, ongoing and important consideration. You may be eligible for healthcare continuation benefits called COBRA. If you are eligible, you will receive a letter telling you this. By the way, it won't be from a company you will recognise, which is why you need to open and read your mail daily. Once you receive this letter, you will have 60 days to apply for COBRA benefits. If you miss the window, you'll have to find healthcare coverage on your own. Your spouse may have had a flexible spending account known as an FSA or a health savings account known as an HSA. The FSA monies need to be used during the calendar year. It doesn't roll over year to year like an HSA. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. So make sure you understand what program your spouse was enrolled in. You will need to return employee-owned equipment if they worked from home, or you'll have to visit their office to retrieve any personal items there. If you are currently employed, you'll need to update documents with your employer as well, like insurance and retirement account beneficiaries. These are easy to forget about, but important to take care of, because doing so will ensure these benefits bypass probate. 10. Finally, claim benefits. This includes Social Security benefits and employer benefits, as previously mentioned. If there is a life insurance policy naming you as the beneficiary, contact customer service and ask for a claims packet. Then file the claim. Is there an annuity? If so, there may be several options, and you need to consider them all in light of your current financial situation. They are complex, so be sure to consult a professional before deciding. If your late spouse was a veteran, there may be VA benefits. Contact va.gov to get started. Okay, I've covered the daily do's and the must-do's, but there are some definite don't-do's that I want to share with you. 1. Don't do it alone. You simply don't know what you don't know. Don't be afraid or embarrassed to ask for help. You will need to work with professionals. At the very least, you are going to need an estate planning attorney. If you don't have a network of professionals, solicit recommendations from people you trust. You can also visit www.findhelp.org for free or low-cost services in your area. 2. Don't pay your late spouse's bills or sell your spouse's property. As I previously mentioned, it's important to understand your spouse's estate before you pay any of their bills or sell their property. 3. Do not use their credit or debit cards. It is unlawful. Do not continue to pay any household bills with estate monies, meaning if there is a bill being paid automatically out of a spouse-only account or credit card, change it immediately. If you receive a check made payable to both of you, you can deposit it in your individual checking account or joint checking account. If a check is made payable to your spouse only, it must be deposited in the estate checking account. 4. Don't be late with bills. Follow the daily habit of opening and sorting mail, filing papers and paying bills. Do not let them pile up and become overwhelming. If you can't pay on time, call the creditor and work it out. Remember, creditors will work with you, collection agencies generally won't. Paying bills on time will help build good credit. Automate as many as you can. For example, why not make the minimum payment to your credit card automatically? This way your payments are always on time. 5. Don't spend or give away money. At least not until you have a solid handle on your financial situation. If you're gifting to a charity, hit pause until you are sure you should continue. 6. Finally, don't make big or hasty decisions. You may have heard that you shouldn't make any big decisions in the first year. If possible, this is good advice, but it's not practical advice in all cases. If you can't afford your mortgage, you may not be able to wait a year. Again, professional advisors can help you understand all considerations with such important decisions, so back to #1. Get help. Don't travel this journey alone. Summarizing, these are the organizations you'll likely need to contact. Not all may apply to your specific situation. And this slide summarizes the professionals you'll likely need to contact. Again, not all may apply to your specific situation. I mentioned a number of financial and legal terms during this presentation, and I've summarized those here. Except that you cannot get everything done quickly. It's a marathon, not a sprint. The more you discipline yourself to tackle a little bit every day, the better your decision-making and your emotional health will be. Now, are you ready to take charge? You can do this. Take your time. Don't panic. It's going to be okay. From all of us at Wings for Widows, good luck and thank you.